typical settings will work for this task. So the goal is to provide a brief review of the last research, last article, last innovations, last patent application in the field of mental wellness, brain health. And because there are lots of absolutely amazing innovators, absolutely amazing findings, and they're publicly available. But the truth about it, it's very hard to find the one that just actually deserve attention. And another thing, there's so many databases, there are so many sources that you have to go through to find something, really valuable. And usually people rely only on a particular source of information, only unrestricted one. From my perspective, a restricted one. So I believe that if you really want to be in a space and want to really understand how things go, you better have a broader, picture and get actual access to research and findings of scientists and other innovators who are actually involved in the very interesting research. Okay, so today is March 6th, and I was actually I was looking through the articles and patents published actually in the last week, and I found very interesting. Findings. One of them is the more and more articles actually appear in the area of measurements, how we can actually measure, mental health condition, dynamics of it. It's a very hard question, and I believe it's very important to address it properly. And I believe that those articles, those research, those findings has been shared, they're very valuable. So recently in 2023, it's actually in January 2023, in Journal of Adolescent Health, been published one article about the importance of mental health measurements to improve global adolescent health. This article doesn't provide details regarding how exactly things can be measured, but they provide really great picture of the importance, the how important these things are, and how actually the metrics, lots of information regarding mental health absolutely has lack of decent measurement tools and decent reliable information data wise. Leisure activity and mental health. It turns out that we, on every single media, we hear that exercises, it's so good for you. It's extremely important. You have to do it on a daily basis to be sure that you to provide longevity and wellness to your mental and physical health. And yes or no, this article shows that it very depends on the age and very depends on what particular activities you're engaged in. So physical activity is good, but you have to be really careful with choosing the right one. And there is a certain balance, and that very depends on the aging group. It very depends on the physical state of a particular person. So the bottom line is not that straightforward. Not that there is no direct connection between physical activities and mental health. So you have to be careful with the amount of pressure you're putting on your muscles and your skeleton. Okay, the next article is about importance of the collaboration and clinical applications. I believe, and the whole idea that it posted in the word psychiatry means a lot. I believe that it's the first, not the first steps, but I think the whole idea of interdisciplinary collaborations, and the whole idea that more people getting involved, and the whole idea of the word of psychiatry is not that isolated as it used to be. I think it's a very good thing, and I think that the alliances and conceptualization and the whole idea of ideas exchange and knowledge exchange and putting forces together to reach some goals. I think it's very important subject matter, and I highly encourage you to read this articles, this particular article. The thing is, this article doesn't actually provide deep knowledge, right? It's not review, but it does bring some ideas and sparks some conversation in your in your mind and thoughts that actually can be a really powerful tool to achieving a better health care situation in society. As we know, this patent application has been published in recently in February, a few days ago, and the whole idea of blood-brain barrier. We know that it's a huge subject matter, and lots of drugs that can be delivered to the brain because of the blood-brain barrier, because our body is very, very careful and smart in choosing of what kind of molecules it allows it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with viruses, but we still can work on it. So this particular application, patent application, they applying certain frequency electric field to increase permeability of the blood-brain barrier. And that's an amazing thing. It can help with a lots of drug deliveries, and a lots of different diseases, because it's not related. It's not just about tumor, where you have to deliver like really serious, heavy molecules to the brain, but it related to any other, mental condition, etc. That where actually drugs that needs to be delivered, and the whole idea that they come up with this innovative solutions is very, I think, fascinating. Well, the whole idea that magnetic field, electric fields actually influence our brain a lot, in all possible aspects. It's been known for centuries, but not for centuries, but probably for the last century for sure. But the whole idea that the more specific applications appear, I think it's very important and fascinating. Method and system to facilitate silent communications. The thing is, we already know there are tons of applications already available that that work with on the same frequency. Basically, what they do, they track the frequency, frequency of the brain. Everything has particular frequency. Our brain has a specific frequency, especially when it's when it's silent, when it engaged in a specific work. And the whole idea that more and more innovative solutions come to read people's mind without them talking, without expressing verbally, non-verbally. It's very important, especially where meaning people who have certain disabilities, who can move, who cannot talk, or has issues with expressing themselves. I think it's very interesting. And so the application, it's a world application, patent application, and it's been created and been applied by scientists in Georgia Tech. So applauses to Georgia Tech. I think it's a great innovation. Antigens. I call it antigenic because, I have Russian background, and for me, especially scientifically wise, pronouncing certain terms in Russian is more sounds more familiar to me. Okay, anti-genes. Decoy antigens to maternal brain reactive antibodies. So, the idea of treatment autism and other neurological diseases, it's a very it's been, I mean, the whole idea that we can treat particular diseases if the person even was born, with a specific elevation. I think that's very important to know. It's very important ones that we able that the science in nowadays in such a stage that we actually can address those issues using sophisticated techniques. And I think the more innovations like this appear, the better. So this one applies decoy antigens to maternal brain reactive antibodies. Well, the thing is, the reasons, the whole idea of autism, right, and reasons of its appearance, as we know, it's all comes from the genes, right? And the whole idea that there is some promises, there is some evidence that show us that those particular antigens can be used to treat autism. I think it's great. It provides a lot of promises and hopes, especially for people who has certain inclinations. So yes, according to this innovation, we can state that specific antigens actually can provide some promises on treatment of autism. As you know, another innovation I actually picked up, it's been published in February 3rd, 3 days ago. They use digital twin system, and they use digital twin systems in devices and methods. The whole idea, they apply digital twins idea to treat people, to recover people to certain condition. The goal is for them, okay, to bring a patient to the same condition it was he was or she was before the surgery or particular treatment. And I think the whole idea that actually healthcare system, there are more and more innovations appear that actually target hope you to bring to the same condition you were, so you will experience as less outcomes of your after surgery, and the recovery procedure, to cut up the the whole recovery time. I think that's amazing. I think it's amazing. It deserves absolutely a lot of attention, and I believe that digital twins, the idea of digital twins, can be applicable in lots of aspects of healthcare system. Not just not just returning to the patient to the same condition it was, but for multiple other reasons. Finding the right medical solutions, finding the right probably implants, other components. I mean, that's so it's just so important and fascinating. So applauses to the applicants. It's a great innovation. Also, what I found, and that's not going to be on the slides, that there are lots of innovations related to delivery, to the drug delivery system for the mental health, but for the brain health, wellness. And I believe it's very important there are so many solutions currently available, and still sometimes there can be some sort of obstacles with the delivery, the finding the right solutions, and they find the appropriate delivery system. Why delivery system is so important? The thing is, all people, there are lots of different conditions, lots of age, lots of other minor elements involved. They bring significant outcomes. They bring significant difference in the way particular patient receives this particular treatment, the body of the patient receives, plus including into consideration that this patient can used other solutions and other heavy medications. I believe it's very important, those innovations that actually bring different type of solutions, different type of systems, digitalized systems that allow them get those treatment in the right way. I think it's very important, and I always very happy. I'm so happy to see every time new solutions appear. So that was a very brief review of the innovations of the articles and patents that have been published in the last week. Stay tuned. I hope the goal is to provide some brief reviews, at least once per week. We'll see how things will go. I hope you find it useful and interesting. See you soon.